Photography is what Lawrence Prescott does, and he's really good at it. Trust me. And also, when you want to get that video done, any type of videography production, he got you. He does short films, movies, any type of videos as well. Lawrence Prescott got you at anything that you really need. So make sure you give him a call. His phone number, and I'm going to say it slow for you, it's 404-218-1234. Did you get that? 404-218-1234. Lawrence Prescott Photography. Yo, my brethren, big up. It's all about Caribbean International Shipping. That's right. Do you need more information on shipping your items to the U.S., Southeast region, or to the Caribbean? Have you ever heard of Caribbean International Shipping? You shop, they pack, and ship. They also offer residential pickup services. Support our business, like, share, and call. For your barrel shippings, let us know. The number to call is 470-718-9675 on WhatsApp or 770-323-1111. Caribbean International Shipping, the only way to send your stuff to the islands. Everybody stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. You're doing it wrong. I got to tell you something, man. I got to tell you about Aggie Tree Services of Stonecrest, Georgia. They are willing to travel to local and metro Atlanta. That's right, Aggie Tree Services of Stonecrest, Georgia. Our services are extensive. We have equipment for almost any job, including demolition, skid steer, forestry mulcher, bucket truck, excavators. We can have it all. We can clear up to 3 acres per day, residential and commercial. The telephone number for Aggie, 770-990-5414. I'm going to say the number for you one more time in case you didn't get it. It's 770-990-5414. You can also email Aggie at aggieholdingsllc@gmail.com. One more time, the name is Aggie Tree Service of Stonecrest, Georgia. Trust me, give them a call. You don't want to miss out on this. Aggie Tree Services of Stonecrest, Georgia. The only people you need to call.
Hey, upset. See how upset. Spur outside. On. I'm a winner. You know the time. I'm a winner. Hey, watch out now. I'm on the sun. Oh, we're winning right now, you say we're winning right now. Me forget that trophy to what we living right now. Cause I'm winning right now, yeah. And I'm chilling right now. Oh, we're winning right now. Our Thanksgiving right now. Cause we're winning right now, yeah. I'm winning. I'm winning. Watching up, hell I'm a walking W. Learn from the else, turn them in a medal in a trophy and bells. Every day you see me with the pan on next film. Break off like we cracking eggshells. And every single ounce of effort we expel. It's all about progress, cause we have to excel. I watch up, looking like success we dress well. Another knockout for the ring the next spell. I'm about to send my haters a card to get well, cause I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it, but that's the whole gist of it. I hate in the beauty when winning now we have it. Cause I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. Oh, we're winning right now, you say we're winning right now. Me forget that trophy to what me living right now. Cause I'm winning right now, yeah. And I'm chilling right now.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Voices Behind the Mask talk show. And I know you are asking, what is Voices Behind the Mask? Well, Voices Behind the Mask is that talk show, the talk show where we unmask real people with real stories that will impact, and it will not only just impact, it will definitely transform your life. So we are here once more at Caribbean Life TV, Caribbean Life Radio, where we host Voices Behind the Mask. And I am Alderine Foote, the pipper, that person that pushes people in to purpose. So I am your PIP strategist. Let's go. So this morning we have another phenomenal guest with us, and this is Miss Stephanie Britton. So let's talk a little about who is this lady. Stephanie was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica, and she was born and raised in the inner city. She's the first of 5 girls for her mother. She has been an educator for over 20 years. She has taught in Jamaica for 14 years. And by the way, I'm sorry. This is Dr. Britton. My apologies, Dr. Britton. I'm so sorry. This is Dr. Stephanie Britton, not Mrs. Dr. Stephanie Britton. All right, she worked for it. Give her the title. That's her title right there. So she has been an educator for over 20 years, and she taught in Jamaica for 14 years, and she has been teaching in the United States for 8 years. She attended St. Joseph Teachers College, where she got a diploma and a degree in primary education. She got her master's from Western Carolina University in education leadership, and she did her doctoral degree at the American College of Education. So I'd like for you to help me welcome Dr. Britton. Dr. Britton?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Miss Foot.
Thank you for coming on. I don't know what's going on. Just a little. All right. The meeting disconnected. I don't know what's going on.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right. My apologies, everybody. Technical difficulties this morning.
Hey, upset her. See how upset her? Go outside there. On and on. I'm a winner. You know the
All right. I apologize for that. Let me pin Dr. Britton again. I don't know what's going on. I think. Just give me a minute.
right now. Me forget that trophy to what me living right now. Cause I'm winning right now, yeah. And I'm chilling right now.
All right.
Oh, we winning right
I don't know what's going on this morning, but the devil is a liar. And like I've always said, whenever you see these things happening, it's because the show is just going to be awesome. So that's all right. That's all right.
Hey, watch out now. Hey, I'm a walking W. Learn from the L's. Turn them in a medal in a trophy and bells. Every day you see we with them on the next level. Break records like we cracking eggshells. And every single ounce of effort we expel.
Okay,
It's
I know
all
you're
about
there,
progress,
but
cause we have
wait,
to
honey,
excel. I watch them. Looking like success, we dress well. Another
All right.
report for the ring.
So again, I do apologize for that. But again, a little technical difficulty. We'll eventually iron out everything. And I really need the subscription for this. As soon as we have that problem, let me tell you, can you get as many people as you can to go to the YouTube channel, because you can watch all the replays there, and let them subscribe to the channel, because I am trying to switch from the Zoom to the YouTube channel, which is usually more easier. We don't normally have a lot of problem on YouTube. So I'm asking you all to go ahead and subscribe and get as many people to subscribe. All right. Another thing, we're also trying to push the time a little bit further and give us a little more extra time, as well as pushing up the time to a little later time, so that more people can jump on. Because I'm listening, I'm hearing everything that everybody is saying, and I'm trying my best to iron out all the issues that we have been having. So those who cannot come on at 8 o'clock, we're trying to push that up to about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, so more people can jump on. People are always also asking for more time, because they're saying the guests, they still don't hear the whole story. So we're trying also to DJ Red's about half an hour more. We're trying to add a half an hour more to the show. So we're listening. All right. So we'll iron out everything that's going on. All right. So let's jump into. So this is Dr. Britton. Welcome, 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 Dr. Britton to Voices Behind the Mask. I was on her show some time ago because she has a show as well, and you'll hear all about that because this lady is doing some awesome work. Can I tell you? All right. So we're gonna first start with our dodging questions. All right. So my first dodging questions, Dr. Britton, is unique to Voices Behind the Mask. These are the questions that we hope that nobody has asked you, which means that you have dodged those questions. All right. So it's usually the fun part of this. Supposed to be the fun part of the interview. So my first question to you is: have you ever? I know you're a Kingstonian, right? You're a city girl.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
growing up, did you have any occasion where you spent any time in the country?
Yes. Growing up, yes, I've spent time in the country, yes.
All right.
Though, I wasn't used to, that was something I wasn't used to, so I didn't like it growing up. But after, I've become an adult, I started to like going to the country. But growing up as a kid, no.
Okay. And that would have been my question. All right. So let me be a little more specific. What didn't you like? We're having some.
I did not like the outside talk because
All right.
as a little girl, because I can remember, it's clear in my mind. Maybe about age 8, and my dad took me to stay with family members in the country, and everything was just different. We had to take our back outside, we had to use the toilet outside, and so I was like, that's a no-no.
Okay. You weren't used to that.
That was a no-no.
Well, welcome to the country club. And when I say country club, I don't mean the country.
I wanted to go home.
All right. And that's a good one right there. It brings back a lot of memories. Because I say welcome to the country club, and in quote unquote, country club is that place where the rich and the famous go to. But country club, in what I'm talking about, we're used to growing up using that old outside latrine. I remember taking my bath, not showers sometime, depending on if I'm at my grandmother's house or my house. So you're taking your shower, but there's no roof.
No.
And most times the bathroom, DJ Reds is not used to any of that. He grew up in New York. He has no clue what we're talking about here. Yes, but there's no roof, and usually a lot of the bathroom is made up of zinc because that's the material that would stand up against the rain and water and everything on the outside. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, the latrine there's no flushing. It just goes down to the earth. Yes, so that's a good one. That brings back a lot of memories.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I grew up. And I can understand a city girl, coming out of the city and using that. I didn't even know what. Maybe as a little child, I don't even know what. That was my director. That's Candy. All right, I didn't even know what a flush toilet was until maybe later on in my teens. So,
Yeah.
or later in my as a child. Yeah, I would have known. I just remember I went to school, but outside of school, that was it. All right.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a good memory. It took us both down to memory lane. That was a great memory. All right, so let us go back a little to you growing up in let us go back to you growing up in Kingston. Who was Dr. Britton? Who was Stephanie Britton growing up? What tell us about that trajectory. What was your life like?
So growing up, in Kingston, Stephanie Williams, it was that time. I was just this quiet, reserved little girl, being the firstborn for my mom, who had five kids, and she recently passed away. So a lot of things still come fresh in my mind. But being the first of five girls, I was basically responsible, for my siblings when my mom wasn't home. But not only responsible for them, but it was impressed upon me that I need to pave the way. I need to show the example that my siblings would follow. So at an early age, I don't know if you remember these days, back then, because I'm an 80s baby. Might look younger, but I'm an 80s baby. So back then we did the common entrance
I'm a 70s baby.
And these kids,
yeah, go ahead. Don't mind me. Go ahead.
They don't even. Yeah. These kids these days, they don't even know what is common entrance. They're used to GSAT and now they're doing PET. But I did common entrance. And so as the first child, at age 10, I passed my common entrance exam, which made, everybody in my family proud because they were like, yes, this is the beginning of success. Because at that time, common entrance exams, or I say the matriculating exams to go to high schools, it's either a pass, or if you don't pass, your parents have to find a way to get you in a high school if you're too old to repeat primary school. And if you're young, then you have to repeat primary school and do the exam again to see if you can pass it to go to high school. So, at the age of 10, I was successful and I got a placement to the Tivoli Gardens Comprehensive High School. And I know a lot of people say, Tivoli, that's not a high school. That's just one garrison school. But Tivoli Comprehensive High School, it has leave a mark on me. It has shown me what I should and should not do. If you understand what I mean. And I talk more about that as we get into the interview. But being this simple, humble, firstborn, the child that should be the example for the rest of the children, I'm not going to pretend like it was easy because it came with a lot of pressure. Because you are expected to pave the way for your siblings. And so your mom, or mom let us know this every single day. So I had to learn to cook early. I had to learn to wash early. I had to make sure I can take care of my siblings when my mom wasn't there and make sure when she come back, everything is in order. At the house, or take their stuff from one place and leave it out of place. You have to put it back where it was, and when they come back, you have to make sure the house is in order the way they left it. So it was a lot of pressure growing up as Stephanie Williams.
Okay. So you started Tivoli. What type of student were you while in school? Were you that child who made sure everything was done? You did all your work or whatever. Was there any form of peer pressure? Tell us a little about that journey.
So initially, as we all know, when you just start high school, I'm not sure how it is now, but for me back then, when we just started high school as a 7th grader, everybody's on time, on their P's and their Q's, and you want to make sure everything is done right. You're staying in class, you're passing your subjects, or even if you're not passing, you're not failing where your parents need to come in. But by grade 9, just as it is now, some of these teenagers, there's peer pressure. So I think mine started grade 9. And grade 9, it's like a different setting, and people want to explore more. And you're around children who are experienced in different things. They are coming to school and they're sharing these things. And you are wondering, how can I experience these things? Okay, what am I missing? And so I think when that peer pressure started, we started to do things that was not becoming of high schoolers. And one of the things that we did, and it's, I'm gonna say not becoming, but at the same time, it's still not compared to what I see some
Students doing
today.
now.
And
Yeah.
and I'm not saying what we did was off, like, I'm not saying what we did should be rewarded, because we found out by ourselves that this did not deserve a reward. We deserved some beat, but we didn't. So one of the things we would do, we would leave school half day and sometimes go to the beach.
Wow.
Or we would leave school and go. That time in Portmore, they had the skating ring, and we would leave school and go to the skating ring in our uniforms
Wow.
and be skating our lives away. Remember, school is still in session. School is still in session, and guess what? We would make a big deal out of it. We would even plan it down to the T.
Wow.
We plan what day we're going.
It's a field trip.
Who is gonna cook food? Field trip. Field trip, and it's not the school put it on. Field trip not put on by the school. We put on our own field trip. We will plan who's gonna maybe carry snacks, who's maybe gonna carry food, and if we're not gonna be able to cook food and carry, because we planned it in a way where we had students in our class whose parents might be on, the morning shift, so they're leaving out early so the student can stay home and cook. And we meet up by 12 o'clock because we our food and our stuff. Or if not, we stop on the way, we'll buy our food, and still we over Port Royal and swim. Still over Port Royal.
And for those who are honest Americans, she's saying you would want to see them over there swimming, right? Oh my God.
But mind you also, Alderine, in that time, to go to Port Royal, we had to take the ferry. So you see the danger we were putting ourselves into. We had to take the ferry to go on the boat to go over to Port Royal, and we would be swimming. And I have a video on my YouTube channel because guess what? Several of us almost drowned.
Oh wow.
Yes. And we know so when I get beaten or drawn, nobody reach back over the water back to Kingston. When I still get beaten, although we died. So yes. Because I know personally my mom, let me speak in English for those who are listening. My mom would have personally given me another dose of beating if I drowned in Port Royal. Because she didn't send me there, she sent me to school.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So we go to the beach, and let me tell you this, can I tell you that at that time my mother was working in the factory. I don't know if people know about the factories down by the terrace where they make the jeans pants and they make all of the different things to send back to
Yes.
And can I tell you that
I'm trying to remember what they call them. There's a name. Is it textile?
Free zone.
What was it? Free zone. Right. For those who need to jog their memory. That's what's called free zone.
Free zone. And can you imagine I came late from the beach and I am hurrying up to get myself cleaned up before my mom got back from work. Girl, when me start take off my clothes, I appear stand and drop in the bathroom. Stand.
Wow.
Stand. So we had a lot. I'm not gonna say I enjoyed my high school years back in Tivoli. I did some things I should not done, but I picked up the slack.
All right, let's stick a pin right there. DJ Reds, there's a song I want you to play for Miss Dr. Britton.
Be serious. A one extra Thanks so much, Shawnee B. Check what one you know, the man. Thankful for the blessings that are falling on my table. Learning my lessons, now I'm willing and I'm able to do just what I can. As humble as I am, working towards a goal, and we give thanks for helping hands. Pray for health and strength, a life, a length and peace of mind. Good people and good vibe, yes, we give thanks every time. Now every single line, all when it no rhyme, we come for sing redemption songs for the people. Look at where we're coming from. Looking back at where the journey began, I really have to say that I'm strong, I'm strong. All praises to the most I want. Look at where I'm coming from. Looking back at where the journey began, I really have to say that I'm strong, I'm strong. All praises to the most I want. Make me tell you about the life of a queen in a this your concrete jungle. Firm in a regime, now them not go see me stumble. Mama said no come a town and mix with dirty bungle. See they know me just a rise. Some a rise and some a humble. Out of Christiana, yes, me left one look for mine. Never sell my soul, me settle down and take my time. Do it for the love, so naturally the light and shine. So when I look at where I'm coming from, looking back at where my journey began, I really have to say that I'm strong, I'm strong. All praises to the Most High.
Yeah, that song is for you because look at where you're coming from. You are indeed strong because you're no longer. What was your maiden name again, Stephanie?
Yes, William.
You're no longer Stephanie Williams, but you're now Dr. Stephanie Britton. So let's talk a little about the transition of you now realizing that, okay, this is not who I want to be, and this is going to take me down the wrong path. Yeah. Let's tell me a little about that.
The wrong path. So I had to pick up the slacks and learn from my mistakes. And guess what? I learned so quick. It was so quick that I learned because I noticed while I was there, and I was, you know, what we call back in Jamaica, skylarking, wasting time, not doing what you were sent to school to do. I realized when it was time for us to sit CXCs in high school. And when I looked around, and not just myself, when we looked around, all of us that were going to, you know, to the beach and going to wherever we could go just to have fun, when the results came out, all of us realized that we were lacking, meaning if we sat 4 or 3 CXCs, we might have got 0 or 1. For me, I sat 3 and I got 1. 1 out of 3. And we look back on somebody that was in all the activities with us. She didn't leave us. She was at the beach. She was at the skating rink. She was at the cookouts. Wherever we went, she was there. And she did 4 subjects and she passed all 4.
Wow.
And we were, at that time, we were laughing about it right there when we were collecting our results. We were laughing when we were looking at her like, but we didn't waste time with you in Jamaican terms.
Yeah, go ahead.
We went out with you, but you were still toiling upward through the night while we there Skylark and think all is good. And this is the end. And we I don't know if we think we're gonna pass our CXC by wasting time. But she knew that although she was wasting time with us, she was studying. And so we all decided, and I can say this right now, all of us, I can think of a group of girls that we would be, you know, enjoying ourselves. They have all went on to do further studies. I know one is a teacher, one is an accountant,
wow.
One, you just named
and I just want to piggyback a little on what you're saying right now. So, you know, we laughed a lot about the stuff that you were doing and as you skip school and going to the beach and doing all of that. But what is important is that there's
always, as long as, and a lot of people, people need to understand that, is that what happened, and you might not have called it that, is that there was a mindset change because you saw something, and that something caused a pivot. And so as a result, there was a mindset change. And now you're telling me that even though every single one of you, not except the one, left school either with one subject or no subject, everybody realized, and what is also important is that to walk with like-minded people and be able to take pointers, the positive pointers, because you all decided as the same way in which you all made that decision to go downtown, take the ferry, and go to Port Royal. You made that decision together that if she did it, here's our example. We're all in the same boat. And if she did it, we can do it. And today, you have all risen in your own respective careers. And that is something that, as the audience listen, people need to understand that it's never too late. And in Jamaica, there's a saying that it's never too late for a shower of rain. And here we can liken rain to blessing. So it's never too late for that change to come. All right, so tell the audience a little about, just in a quick summary about you. What did Stephanie Williams do to ensure that her life changed?
So this is what I did. I remember, CXC usually comes out in the summer. And when the CXC result came, and after we laughed, and everybody said, no, we have to fix this. And some people got into heart and stuff, but I was like, I don't think I want to go to heart. I don't think this is for me. I think I need to start over fresh. I need to get my CXC. So while my friends, they went to heart to learn a skill to move on, my mom at that time was in a small island. I think she was in Cayman Island. And I was so scared. I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to say to her when she gets back. Because how am I going to explain this? Right? So I went to the police station. At that time, we had the Hannahtown police station. It's no longer because of the incursion. It got burned down. I went to the Hannahtown police station. And I went to see the inspector there. Mind you, I don't know why I'm going to the station. But I was led to the station. And I went to the station.
That's God right there. Go ahead.
I spoke to the person at the front desk, and I told him that, my CXC results just came out, and, I want to get into a different school so I can do my CXCs over. And he said, well, that's something for the inspector. And, he called the inspector, and he said, a young lady's out here, and I went to the inspector, and he asked me what was the problem, and I told him, and he says, where's your mother? And I said, my mom is away, and I have to get into school before she come because I know I have to do my CXCs and I have to get them. And he said, okay, come back tomorrow. I am familiar with the principal, the vice principal. I done technical. I'm going to take you up there and we'll see if we can get to him. And don't ask, I was very early the next day and we went to the school. And when I went to Dunham Technical, and this is going to be funny. It's funny for me when I'm looking back. It might not even sound funny. But when we got to Dunham Technical and he took me to the principal, I cannot forget. Her name was Miss Authors at that time. I'm not sure if you're hearing me because it seems like it's...
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay. So at that time, the principal was Miss Authors. And, the inspector went to her because he knows her and he spoke to her. And she's like, okay, she's going to talk to me. So, he was not outside. And she was like, just me and her. She was like, so which school do you attend? And I said, I went to Tivoli Girls. And she said, okay, so how many subjects you got from Tivoli? Because you spent 5 years there. And I said, 1. She said, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, I want to be a typist. So she said, so which subject did you get? And I was like, I got typing here. So why you want to come to this school? You want to be a typist, and you got typing in CT. Find a job and be a typist.
And be a typist,
No,
yeah.
I don't think that's all I want to do. I want to do. But she was putting me on the spot also, like, look here, little girl, you're not going to come here, come and waste no more time.
That's
you've
right.
5 years at Tiffany. So if you come here, you want to make sure you're coming here for the right reason. And girl, I went back into 10th grade. Remember, I said I graduated primary school at the age of 10, you know. So when I graduated from Tiffany, I'm 15, so I'm still young.
You're still young, so yeah.
I went back in 10th grade. It was a big thing. Because at Dunnon, I was placed in a classroom with some girls and boys who took their schoolwork very serious. Everybody was competitive. Everybody was competitive. And that gave me the push that I needed, that I didn't have at Tiffany. The push wasn't there. What we were more interested in was fun. But here, when I went to Dunnon, the push was get stuff done. How are you going to do it? And I'm so grateful for that experience. I went to Dunnon Technical, and I went to 10th grade, and grade 11, I was selected for 8 subjects.
Wow.
I started 8 CXC subjects, 7. I got 7 out of 8.
Wow.
Now, you tell me if this is something I couldn't do from Tiffany. I couldn't from Tiffany.
Yeah, if you did it in Dunnon, you could have, yes.
Pressure. And that is this is what teenagers need to realize. Sometimes you will be exposed to peer pressure, but you gotta pick yourself up at some point. You have to know when to say enough is enough.
Yes.
And so when I graduated with my 7th girl, I was so happy. So I said, what's next? What's next? So I wanted to work in the hotel industry, and I tried to get into the University of Technology. But girl, I could not afford the school fees. The school fees. But I heard about National Youth. I don't know if you know.
National Youth Service,
NYS,
yes.
If it's still around.
Yes.
Yeah. The National Youth Service, they have a program where they train you to work in the hotel industry, and then you get the job experience to go in and, get experience, and then maybe I could matriculate from there. But when I investigated about it, that program, they were already in training, and an upcoming program was for teaching.
Wow.
I was so disappointed.
Wow.
I don't want to be no teacher. But at the time, the hotel management program wasn't going to be coming around until the next year, next summer.
And you are ready to go.
I don't want to stay home for 1 year. So I'm like, you know what? I signed up for the teaching one. And we went to Knox Community College. And we did the teaching. And I'm going to be... I didn't care one thing about teaching when I was on that NYS program. I was just doing it because I didn't want to waste my time. I was just doing it. And I know once I finished the program, I was going to be placed in a school as an assistant teacher. I would have been getting a stipend. And I'm like, at least I'm going to have something to do when the program ends. I think after a month or after 6 weeks. So I basically dragged myself through the program. And while those girls were making their charts and involved in the teaching, because they wanted to be teachers, I was just there because I could get in the program.
That you wanted to get into.
Yes, but I'm there. And I was placed now at a school in Crossroads, the Learning Center. I'm not sure if it's still there, but it's right there beside St. Hugh's High School, and it's a school for kids with special needs. And girl, I was the assistant teacher in that school, and I knew from there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Teachers College, because then I started doing my research, and the teaching, the degree, the diploma, the fees to go to Teachers College was so much cheaper. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Teachers College. But I know for sure, one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, I'm not doing special education, because there was a little girl in the classroom that traumatized me.
Wow.
Yes. And so I knew even if I'm good in the classroom, I'm not going to do special education because I don't have the patience for it. So I signed up for several teachers' college. I got through to St. Joseph Teachers College. I did my 1 year at the Learning Center as an assistant teacher there. And, you know, I started doing my studies part-time at St. Joseph Teachers College doing education. And so at the same time, the school I graduated from, my primary school I graduated from, my second grade teacher was not an assistant teacher, but she was also the classroom teacher. So she had to be balanced in the classroom and the office work.
Oh, so she's the assistant principal.
She's the assistant principal, sorry, and the classroom teacher. So she's balanced office work and a classroom. So the ministry approved her to get an assistant teacher. They knew I was assisting, and they knew I did the program of NYS.
Wow,
so
look at God.
They reached out, and they knew I got my subjects. Because, you know, my primary school teachers basically followed up with everything. They knew about typically what subjects I got, so they knew I went back to the technical school, and now I have my subjects. Now I went to this training, and I have the subjects, and they're approved for an assistant teacher for second grade, and so they reach out to me and say, hey, we know you are there, but we have a position here.
And that was while you were still studying?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So it saved me from traveling now to Crossroad because the school is right there in my community, and I was now assisting my second grade teacher. Wow. The teacher that taught me in second grade, I'm now her assistant
you're
teacher.
in familiar territory.
Yes. And, you know, so, you know, basically all my teachers who taught me at that school were still there when I went back. My first grade, my second grade, my fourth grade, and my fifth grade. The only one that wasn't there was my third grade teacher. So, you know, they're training me for this, even though this is not what I want. So, I'm there and I'm studying part-time to get my diploma. And the next school year, I'm giving my own classroom, a first grade class. And that's where it began. I'm now teaching. I have my own classroom. I'm no longer an assistant teacher, because back then, in Jamaica, you could teach without actually completing your diploma, as long as you complete in a specified amount of time. And you have the subjects. And I had the subject, and so I was paid as a pre-trained teacher. I had my own class, and I was studying. I completed my diploma, went straight into my degree, and then I started thinking, oh, what's next? Because I find that whenever I'm not studying, I'm like, I feel like I'm wasting time. What else can I do? I need to be doing something. And so after I finished my degree, I signed up to do my master's, and I did that. But at this time now, after I did my master's, I'm like, broke.
What
and I'm
next?
this big
So you're asking again what's like. All right, we're going to stick a pin right there, because then we're going to talk a little about your journey into the U.S. But DJ Reds, there's another song. Can you play that song for me, please? Not for me, you're playing it for Dr. Britton.
And Richard Stevens.
Only God knows how we made it through the day.
Only him alone can save we. Our life this.
Where I'm from, poverty knocks my door.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, jumps a in the corner store.
Every day.
Where I'm from, 90% are we poor. And chewing on the bed, we have to sleep on the floor. And where I'm from, this is the order of the day. If you see an inform, then you have to run away. Where I'm from, God knows that we survive. Picnic can't go to school, them are hustle to survive. Yeah. I hear them cry, see them die, hear them cry, see them die, hear them cry, hear them die. Father, wipe their eyes, help them. Hear them cry, see them die, hear them cry, see them die, hear them cry, see them die. Father, wipe their eyes, help them.
Where I'm from, mama prayer for your son is, Father, please make him don't touch the gun. And where me from, teenage pregnancy and arm, a sweet 16 with a second baby born. And where we from, these are the struggles what we have. Our address already cancelled with jobs. And where we from, simple things become crime. Can't wear certain colors, now put up certain signs, Lord.
Hear them cry, see them die, hear them cry, see them die, hear them cry, see them die.
I play that that song not because you may have gone through all of this, but I played that song because initially we talked about the fact that you are from the ghetto. You grew up in the ghetto. And so one of the things I want to stress right now is that it does, and I've said this over and over in a lot of the posts and comments that I make, is that where you're from does not determine who you are or where you're going. It boils down to choice. So we're going to talk a little about another choice you made. You made a choice to move to the United States. I want you to quickly tell us why you made that choice and then jump into, just as quickly, what you're doing now. How you have transitioned into where you are now.
Right. So I made the choice to move to the United States after completing my master's. I have a loan now over $800,000 just for my master's, and you know that's going to be with interest. Plus, I would have already had other loans, so it's definitely going to be money. So I'm like, there ain't no way I'm going to sit here and pay this loan and survive the way I want to, you know, the lifestyle that
you want to live. So that's right.
In the United States, where you know the dollar value, because you know a dollar is a dollar wherever you go. Because you come here to think it's gonna be a lot more. But
I had to learn that. Hallelujah.
It's just that when you send the money back home, the value is more, and you can help to pay your loans back home. So that was the choice I made. Like, let me go and see if I can clear up these loans and move on. So yes, I came to the United States and I started teaching here, and I took my time and I paid those loans off. So thank God for that. But then I noticed again that, you know, I'm just leaving work and there's nothing else to do. I'm just wasting time.
What next?
And stuff.
That's question again. What next?
What next? I'm like, okay, I need to start studying again. And this is somebody who wasn't studying. This is somebody who's wasting time. I know every time I find free time on my hands, I'm like, I need to be studying. So I don't know if it's a trauma from back then. So I signed up to do my doctoral degree, and I completed my doctoral degree. And when I was finished, now I have all this time on my hand again. And I'm like, you know, teachers are always asking me how to get the job in the United States. And I had a YouTube channel back then, but it was for my family. But one day I was like, you know, I'm just going to do a video to show them how to get a teaching job, step by step, what they need and how they should do it. And I made that video, and so many people gravitated towards it. And I'm like, whoa, so people really need this information. And so I transitioned into sharing information on my YouTube platform, which is Kicking with Dr. Britton, about how to get a teaching job in the United States. From there, I noticed also that when we come here as international teachers, a lot of the administrators, they really don't understand like, you know, the paperwork we need to do and things like that. And we're always left to figure it out by ourselves. I said, you know what? I think we need to have an organization, a non-profit organization, where a group of us, a body of international teachers, can assist teachers who need the information. And so that's how I founded the nonprofit organization, and it's called Aid for International Teachers. You can find us on Facebook or on Twitter.
Awesome.
We had our first launch in July, where we basically did a workshop for new incoming teachers in 4 districts. It was online and as well as in person, and we're still working. It's the organization is still in its early stage or early phases, so we're still working on it. And if somebody's listening and would like to, you know, assist us with the organization, if you're experienced in this area, you can always reach out to me. I'm Kicking with Dr. Britton. You can find me on IG, Facebook, or YouTube, and say, hey, let's help you to get this thing where you really want it to be. But then we started the organization, and we've been sharing information to international teachers who are interested to know more about, you know, how to apply for specific things, like, for example, a waiver, or, you know, how to apply for their work permit for their family members, whether it be the spouse or their kids, stuff like that. And most of the information that I share on that platform is also, shared on Facebook so they can get that information. So that's how I got from, not just teaching, but sharing with aspiring international teachers, that community of teachers who aspire to teach here in the United States, sharing that information with them so that they can have an understanding of what, is needed and how to proceed.
And I think I have been on your platform because, yes, I came here as an international teacher as well. And you and I spoke, and I really think you're doing an awesome work because I know there's one person, she was in the UK, and she was watching your show. That's how she saw me, somebody I went to college with, and they reached out to me on it. So people are watching. There was someone else from Jamaica who saw me on the show as well and reached out to me. Both those persons are now here, but I want for you, you missed something as well, to let people know that you are also a consultant. And so you do consultations for individuals who want to come to the US, who want information about. So if you're out there, you have a family member who wants, you're even already in the US, but you have a family member who wants to come to the US, they can contact Dr. Britton and get information. She'll sit down with you. When I tell you that this lady, she and I worked in the same school district in South Carolina. I was in the high school. She was in the elementary school, and that's also how we met. But you know what I love about this lady is about the fact that she has recognized the gift that God has given her. We talk about purpose on the show. And she has ran with it, and she has helped so many people. Let me give you the shout outs. Recently, she's also collaborating with other entities, that people who are bringing teachers here. And so recently she was in Jamaica. Was it a job fair, Dr. Britton?
Yes, we went to Jamaica for a recruitment drive. Where we were recruiting teachers to teach in the United States, and I went to one of the program sponsors.
So if you know anybody or you want any information, Dr. Britton is your go-to person. So once, but before I allow Dr. Go ahead.
I always say, the consultancy came about because of this. I always say I try to give all the information free on my YouTube channel. I will lay things out step by step in a way that people can understand it. But then there are some people do not want it like that. Some people prefer to have the person
the one-on-one, yes.
For them to be going through the videos step by step. They want you to sit there with them and go through to them one by one. And I found that a lot of people, though the videos were there, they will be asking questions about things that were already shared on the platform. And I came to realize that people understand better more sometimes when you do this one-on-one, because we are different types of learners. And so I say, you know what? And I have been responding to these people over and over, whether it's been an email or they message me on IG, I respond. But then when I see that they need more, that's how the consultancy was born. And I'm like, okay, I need a platform where I can share with people more, on a one-on-one basis, where they can have more time with me, and I can give them different leads as to where to go, what to do, what steps to take. And that's how Supremacy Connect was born. And so if you're interested in getting that one-on-one consultation, then you can check out my website at supremacyconnect.com. But yes.
So that's supremacyconnect.com.
You are going to need is on my channel. Yeah.
And the channel is Kicking It with Dr.
Most of what you need will be
Sorry.
That one-on-one.
All right.
Go ahead, Alderine.
That's supremacyconnect.com, and The channel is Kicking It with Dr. Britton. You need to go and check this out. Like I said, this lady is doing some awesome work. Thank you. My secretary is back. I'm back in business. My secretary is right there posting the stuff. Thank you so much, Sheena. Appreciate it. Love you. Thank you so much. So she just posted that link that you can go to, and if you want to connect with her on YouTube, it is Kicking It with Dr. Britton. Kicking with Dr. Britton. Sorry. But I can't finish the show, but I have, just one more question for you before we go. But just before we leave, we have to get a little word in from our sponsor, Roxanne Small. She is your go-to person for insurance. Primerica is the way to go. And remember, you can buy insurance from Primerica, and you can also be an agent with Primerica. It is your choice. And this is something that you need to do because you can be your own boss, you can build your own business, you can have freedom of time. And if you want a side hustle, this is the way to go. So how do you contact Roxanne at Primerica? It is Roxanne Small at Primerica.com or 860-864-6765. That's 860-964-6765. 860-964-6765. Roxanne Small at Primerica.com. Come on, you don't need to be getting any GoFundMe. Get some insurance. Build some wealth in your family. All right. Thank you so much. Coming up, we are doing bigger and better things, like I've always said. Voices Behind the Mask Media presents a pre-Christmas pop-up and book signing right here on Memorial Drive, 6254 Memorial Drive in Stone Mountain. We have a pop-up show and book signing. There will be a lot of things going on. There'll be food. There'll be gifts. There'll be surprises. We have a fashion show. We have immigration services. There'll be a dynamic guest speaker, and it will not just be me, because I believe in pulling everybody on the train, purpose train that we're moving on. So yes, I'll be doing my own book signing, but we also have other authors with us, and one of those authors is the author of Cocktails with Coffee, and we will have mocktails for you also. So you do not want to miss this. It is the market opens at 11 a.m. and closes at 4 p.m. You do not want to miss this. We will also have body contouring services. There will be so much going on here on that day. So it's our pre-Christmas pop-up and book signing, and it will be on Saturday, December 16th, 2023. So it's Saturday, December 16th. Don't miss it. If you have to travel from out of town to be here, you're going to meet some people. You're going to get some stuff that you have never had before. It's just going to be off the chain. Can I tell you? Can I tell you? In my best candy voice. Can I tell you? All right. Voices Behind the Mask Media Company presents a pre-Christmas pop-up shop and book signing. Please do not miss it. You do not want to miss this. Come out, everybody, and support. All right, so before we go, I have one question for you, Dr. Britton. The advice that you will leave to that child, that girl, that boy right now in the ghetto, that student that is wasting time, or that student that has wasted time. Just one quick message to them.
The first thing I would ask them, one thing I would tell them is to just ask yourself a question: is this what I want for myself? Look around you. I know for myself, and I didn't say we're in Kingston. For those who didn't hear, I'm from Denham Town, and you might have picked that up since I went to Tivoli Gardens High School. So, Tivoli Gardens and Denham Town, they are neighboring communities. And I looked around in my community, and yes, people from my community, good things came out. But then you looked around and you see some things that you did not want for your life. So I'm saying to you as a teenager today, look around you and ask yourself, is this what you want for your life? And if that's not what you want, then you need to make that turn and make that decision to make your life into what you want it to be. Because you have that within you and you can change it. It just has to do with you wanting to make the change. That's all. That's it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you again, Dr. Britton, for coming on today and sharing with us on Voices Behind the Mask. And I'm Alderine Foot, the people, that person that push people into their purpose. If you can ensure that you go on our YouTube channel, that Voices International at VBM, Voices International at VBM, and you can get all the episodes there. We do not give them in real time, but they're always posted after a day or two. It will always be posted in that week. So go to our YouTube channel, and I'm asking you please to share it with as many persons as you possibly can. Just share, because the more you share is the more we can do. I'm thinking also of us doing the live on the show in the mornings on YouTube, but that's in the making, and all of that depends on the amount of subscribers that we have. You can also find us on Instagram at Voices International _VBM, and if you want to seek me out, you can find me on Facebook at Alderine Foot, and it's just simply Alderine Foot. I need to add on Facebook Alderine Foot, the PIP strategist, so that people can easily find me. I think I'm going to add to that name, the PIP strategist, so people can easily find me on Facebook. So it's Alderine Foot. So I am your PIP strategist, that person that believes in pushing people into their purpose. We went a little over this morning. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and we will definitely see you next week. There's one other thing I want to put out there right now. We will be in Jamaica very soon. We will be in Jamaica very soon. The show will be taking the Voices Behind the Mask show to Jamaica, and that one is going, I tell you about, yeah, I'm using that newer, all the chain, yeah. I'm a 70s, 80s baby. I'm a 70s baby. I have to learn the terms. Yeah, it will be off the chain. We will be in Jamaica, so you need to start telling everybody that show we're going to have. There'll be a book signing. There'll be prizes and surprises. We'll be giving away, I'll be giving away some of my books to some of the basic schools in Jamaica. We'll also be contributing to a charity in Jamaica. Admission is going to be free, so you won't have to worry about coming in. The admission will be free, so get ready. If you are in Jamaica, if you'll be in Jamaica visiting, you need to be at the pre-recording of the show so that people will be able to see you in the United States. All right, thank you all so much for coming on the show today. And again, this is Voices Behind the Mask talk show, where we are masked real people with real stories that will impact, and not just impact, it will also transform your life. And today we had a phenomenal guest here with us, Dr. Britton. And Dr. Britton, I'm very sure, impacted a lot of you. This is a story. If you know somebody who needs to hear Dr. Britton's story, send them to the YouTube channel, where they will be able to watch the replay. Again, Dr. Britton, thank you so much for joining us here this morning on Voices Behind the Mask.
Hey, I'm sexy.
Thanks for having me.
See
It
how
was a pleasure. It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
I'm a winner.
Bye, everybody.
I'm a winner.
Everybody stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. You're doing it wrong. I gotta tell you something, man. I got to tell you about Aggie Tree Services of Stonecrest, Georgia. They are willing to travel to local and metro Atlanta. That's right, Aggie Tree Services of Stonecrest, Georgia. Our services are extensive. We have equipment for almost any job, including